We've got breaking news out of the world of college hoops where LSU has parted ways with head coach Will Wade. The news comes just 4 days after LSU received notice of allegation from the NCAA in regards to potential violations by the men's basketball program. Wade's contract states that the school can fire him without penalty if charged with a Level 1 or Level 2 violation. He spent the past 5 seasons as the head coach of the Tigers. Assistant Kevin Nickelberry is set to take over as interim head coach. All right, instant reaction with our CBS Sports college hoops writer Gary Parrish, co-host of the Eye on College Basketball podcast. Plenty to be said here, I'm sure, on the pod, but let's begin with your general reaction of this news, Gary.
Not surprised that LSU has finally moved on from Will Wade, especially given that the notice of allegations arrived last week. And now, within the contract, they are allowed to part ways with him without facing a financial penalty because he has reportedly been charged with a Level 1 or Level 2 violation. But for it to happen the day before Selection Sunday at a school that is on its way to the NCAA tournament, that part is a little surprising. I assumed that LSU would move on after this season, but I guess, when the notice of allegations came last week and they realized for the first time perhaps exactly what they're facing in terms of allegations, they decided that before the NCAA tournament gets started, it was time to part ways.
Yeah, perhaps not wanting to dig too deep into that clause of the contract, speaking of where they can be at cause or without cause here when it comes to the contract, just parting ways as soon as that notice came through. But in terms of the league, I mean, you mentioned it, it's a tournament team right now, and the SEC only appears to be getting tougher. Where does the program move from here, Gary?
Well, they'll obviously start a national coaching search, and it'll be somewhat complicated because you would assume anybody with NCAA issues in their past is probably not going to be considered a serious candidate. Also, LSU, they just got the notice of allegations. That means presumably a punishment is coming someday. If you're a coach who's in a good spot, do you want to go into a situation in Baton Rouge where you don't know exactly what you're facing, how long this NCAA cloud is going to be hanging over your program? So the candidate pool will not be what it otherwise would be if circumstances were different. But still, this is an SEC job with a great natural recruiting base and the ability to pay real money. They'll find a competent coach, and then we'll see if that person can help the Tigers continue to compete at or near the top of the SEC.
Yeah, time will tell, but the Bayou Bengal is going to look a bit different moving forward. Gary, we appreciate the time. And the conversation continues on the Eye on College Basketball podcast. All the latest breaking news and notes as we head towards tournament time, and some breaking news on the sidelines as well. Download, subscribe, and enjoy the Eye on College Basketball podcast. More coverage coming.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.